your highest, purest form. By continuing to remind yourself what that is. That highest, purest form is the truth of who you are. When you lose that connection is when you lose the purity. And so develop techniques and ways. It's like when you meditate, right? The goal of meditation, or the goal of the techniques that we practice rather, is to keep bringing our mind back, whatever we are practicing upon, the breath, a mantra, a candle flame, a word, a sound, to keep bringing it back to that, so that ultimately, eventually, we may actually have that experience of meditation. But that practice is a practice that stays with us in life as well. So in the same way that the mind wanders and then you bring it back, and it wanders and you bring it back. You're in Delhi, the mind, but you bring it back. Next thing you're in New York in the mind, but you bring it back. Next thing the mind is in Paris, you bring it back. Next thing the mind is in your childhood, you bring it back. Next thing the mind is in your future, you bring it back. You just keep bringing it back. In the same way as you move through the world, you know that purity of the truth of who I am. Stay conscious. Stay aware. Stay mindful. And as much as you can, develop just techniques of remembering. So an easy one, for example, every time before you eat or drink anything. Every time before you eat or drink, take a moment, go within. Thank the divine, of course, and connect. It's a technique. We eat and drink all day long. Otherwise, we forget God, but you give a technique like that. Whenever you're going to take something, just connect before that. Set an alarm on your phone to just click every half hour. Every time it does. Maybe just a light. Every time that light goes. Oh yeah, check in. Where are you? Are you in your highest, purest, truest self? Or have you gotten pulled out into something? Slowly, 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 it'll become much more natural to stay in that groove, and you won't need all of the different reminders. Like as we practice meditation for a long time, eventually you get better at holding the mind in one place. But so do whatever you need to do, because we have to move through the world. It's not about living in a cave. It's about living in the world. Different sort of jungle. And so just develop techniques. If you've got a friend, someone who you're close to, share with that person. Have sort of daily check-ins. How was today? And every morning, reconnect and recommit. And every evening, check in. You know, Pujya Sadhviji always says at the end of the day, check your balance sheet. How many times did I really come from that purest place, and how many times did I not? And then don't feel bad. Neither feel proud nor embarrassed. Either way, give it all to God. Go to sleep. Get up the next day, pray for the strength to stay anchored again. And that's how our lives become meditation. To just keep bringing it back. Bring it back to the purity, back to the purity, back to the purity. And the last piece with this is, have courage. Because your dilemma is not only the wandering mind, but your dilemma is going to be the world trying to pull you and say, you can't get ahead like that. Everybody lies, everybody steals, everybody cheats. You'll fail, you'll lose everything. So you'll actually end up with people trying to tell you, इतनी सीधी होना नहीं चाहिए, थोड़ा सा तो करना तो पड़ता है. And this is where you need to have the courage to say no. मुझे नहीं करना. Even if it means I don't become the CEO of the company, or even if it means that my company doesn't necessarily become Fortune 500. It's worth it. Because I've won the real lottery. If at the end of the day I can go to sleep without a sleeping pill or a couple of shots of something, you've won the life lottery. You've won something and earned something much, much more valuable than what you get by losing yourself to get ahead.